The Mass Effect franchise has had its fair share of villains, from Saren and the Reapers to the Archon and the Ket. Some have been memorable, standing among the most iconic antagonists in video game history, while others, not so much. This is the best and worst of the Mass Effect series villains. Who could forget the first time they watched Saren shoot his friend and fellow Spectre, Nihilus, in the back of the head?
Don't worry, I've got it under control.
Such a blatant act of betrayal set the stage for Saren's actions throughout the first chapter of Mass Effect. Saren Arterius is an elusive, frustrating adversary for Commander Shepard. Trusted and protected by the Council, he gathers Geth forces and recruits his allies along the way.
Visions cannot be denied. The Reapers are too powerful. The only hope of survival is to join with them.
On Virmire, he admits to being a victim of Reaper indoctrination, believing that he will gain their favor if he helps them. This moment admittedly makes Saren look weak, but serves as a stark reminder of the immense power Reapers have over organic minds. In the end, Saren can be convinced to kill himself, but his final husk form shows no mercy. Like many characters in the series, Saren has a rich history that isn't explained directly within the games. While he would have benefited from more screen time, his presence in the original trilogy set a standard for future Mass Effect villains to come, making him one of the best in the series. The first time Commander Shepard talks to a Reaper remains a personal favorite moment in the series.
There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am Sovereign.
The thunderous boom of Sovereign's voice, the theme music composed by Sam Hullock, the realization that a hyper-advanced, eternal race of killing machines have been extinguishing all life for millions of years. All of it is mind-blowing. The conflict becomes much larger than stopping Saren and the Geth. The existential dread that Shepard feels, knowing what is coming but not knowing if it can be stopped, is communicated to the player in this moment. Realistically, organic life has little to no chance of stopping the Reapers. The final solution to the never-ending conflict of synthetics and organics, creators and creations, culminates at the end of Mass Effect 3. But in the beginning, in this moment, Sovereign sets a tone of impending doom that carries throughout the original trilogy. As the voice of the Reapers, Sovereign is one of the best villains in Mass Effect. Following Sovereign's defeat at the Battle of the Citadel, another Reaper steps in to deal with Commander Shepard, Harbinger. During the Leviathan DLC, Shepard discovers that Harbinger was the first Reaper ever created, and was shaped after the Leviathans themselves. As the oldest and largest Reaper in existence, Harbinger leads the charge against the Milky Way species on Earth during the final battle. But before that, it controls and commands the Collectors, who invade and abduct human colonies in the Terminus systems. Shepard frequently encounters Harbinger in combat when he possesses Collector soldiers through the General.
Assuming direct control.
This classic line, along with its continued struggle against Shepard through the events of Mass Effect 2 and 3, make Harbinger one of the best villains of Mass Effect. Who else can be found sipping bourbon, smoking a cigarette, and gazing at a dying star? None other than the Illusive Man.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
After serving in the First Contact War, he founded Cerberus, a powerful group whose sole purpose is to further humanity's place in the Milky Way, by any means necessary. Over the years, Cerberus earned its reputation as a ruthless, dangerous organization that cannot be trusted. Few come close to the breadth of influence, wealth, and power held by the Illusive Man. Motivated by his desire to save humanity from the Reapers, he funded the Lazarus Project, which resurrected Commander Shepard. Through his extensive network of contacts, he assists Shepard in recruiting a team of scientists, soldiers, and assassins to defeat the Collectors. However, when the Reapers attack Earth, the Illusive Man reveals his intentions of controlling the Reapers instead of destroying them. And despite his best efforts, the Illusive Man is unable to stop Shepard from choosing the fate of the Reapers. According to the Catalyst, the Illusive Man was correct in believing that the Reapers could be controlled, but Cerberus was never capable of doing it themselves. Despite his indoctrination, the Illusive Man remains the most enigmatic antagonist in the series and one of the best villains. Former N7 Marine turned Cerberus operative, Ling suffers from cheesy one-liners and insignificant appearances.
No, it's fun.
There's far too much going on in the final part of the original trilogy to explain his interesting backstory, which results in him feeling like nothing more than a jerky cyborg ninja. Without reading his backstory in comics and books, Ling as a villain falls completely flat. He clashes with Shepard a handful of times over the course of Mass Effect 3. First, Ling attempts to assassinate the Salarian Counselor during the Citadel coup. Next, he steals a Prothean VI on Thessia that contains information on the Catalyst. Finally, Ling is killed after a surprise attack on Shepard in Kronos Station. Shepard learns that the Illusive Man prevented Ling from attempting to kill Shepard. As a result, Ling is the villain who never legitimately tried to kill Shepard because he wasn't allowed. That is why Ling is one of the worst villains in the series. Among other issues, Mass Effect Andromeda lacks a convincing villain. The Archon is a rather bland, predictable antagonist who barely makes an appearance until the final mission. He dies without a proper boss battle and takes with him the satisfaction of feeling like the player accomplished anything against the Ket. Perhaps what is more interesting is what the Archon did before the Pathfinder team arrives in Andromeda. Assigned to the Helios cluster by the Ket Empire, Archon lured the Angara into a false sense of security before committing genocide and exalting their species.
I won't explain what you can't understand.
The issue is that we only see the aftermath of his actions, most of which are hinted at and assumed instead of directly observable. Instead, we receive a series of jabs and insults through video calls instead of seeing the Archon himself. The Archon's critical flaw is his obsession with remnant technology and his desire to weaponize Meridian. Like the Illusive Man, the Archon ended up being correct but was unable to accomplish his goals. The Primus, an equally uninteresting villain, plans to finish the Ket's mission in Helios. The Archon fails to match any of the big bad villains in the series, which is why he stands as one of the worst. The model of a modern politician, Donald Udina is an easy character to hate in the original trilogy. The Ambassador always manages to find criticism in Shepard's methods, regardless of his undeniable success.
The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
Time and time again, his only concern lies with making a good impression with the Council. He blames Shepard for the events on Eden Prime, Pharos, Noveria, and Vermeer. He locks Shepard out of the Normandy, forcing Anderson to take matters into his own hands so that Saren can be stopped. Udina appears to support Shepard in the final war effort against the Reapers. But ultimately, he assists Cerberus in an attack on the Citadel in order to save Earth, which ends in his death after an attempt to frame Shepard for his own actions. While Udina may have been indoctrinated by the Reapers, his constant desire to hinder Shepard along with his final act of betrayal make him one of the worst villains of the series. Udina is a fantastically flawed character and remains infamous for a reason, but that doesn't change how utterly unlikable he is. Before Liara takes over, the Shadow Broker is an incredibly interesting character whose connections and power rival that of the Illusive Man. In his lair, Shepard discovers that the Shadow Broker is in fact one of the violent, massive, and highly intelligent species known as the Yogg. While the Shadow Broker is one of the more intriguing figures in the series, he's not a main threat or villain for Shepard. But he is the ultimate wildcard and a great example of a neutral or chaotic evil in the Mass Effect universe. Commander Shepard's clone in the Citadel DLC is an absolutely ridiculous villain. It was created during Project Lazarus as a source of extra limbs and organs for the real Shepard. Agent Rasa, a fanatical former operative of Cerberus, managed to escape with the clone. While on shore leave, she attempts to kill Shepard and plant the clone in his position to further the pro-human agenda. This meme-worthy adversary provided several fourth wall breaking jokes that highlighted the self-awareness of the series.
Maybe it's, I should go. I should go. I should go.
Clone Shepard remains a hilarious antagonist in Mass Effect. After sharing the best and worst villains of Mass Effect, now it's your turn. Who is your favorite villain in the Mass Effect series? Leave your antagonist in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.